I'd rather just invest in myself to see what I can do. So I had to learn more about the mind also, like reprogramming the brain, creating new nerves. I had to start using my left side and my left hand to try to eat, even though I couldn't really hold a fork or a spoon with my left hand. I would kind of just place it on there and just do the movements of eating to try to force my mind to get in a certain mind state of using my left side. And then just getting the natural medicines and natural herbs and stuff that I need is very expensive still. So I have to stretch out. I don't actually get the amount that I need to take. I'm kind of just getting the bare minimum to get through the pain and get through the inflammation. So there are medicines, natural medicines that I've used to help repair like my equilibrium. I haven't got it all the way corrected yet, but I've corrected it a little bit using natural medicine, and that is very expensive. It's a process too. So it's like I can get these natural medicines and treat myself, but it's a process. It takes time. I also have to go to the gym like every other day. I have to do stretches. I have to do isometrics. I have to do a lot of different things so that my muscles don't tighten up and I'm in pain. This past week, I haven't been in the gym. I've been too sick, no energy, and I really see how it affects me. My legs have been in so much pain. It's hard for me to stand. It's hard for me to sit. It's hard for me to walk. So I really had to do a lot of stretches while I'm at home, try to walk as much as possible until I have enough energy to go back to the gym. So even just doing all this stuff, having a gym membership, having to eat a certain way, all this stuff is very expensive. I have to, when I know my body is fighting off a certain infection, it could be of the liver, of the kidneys. I know that I need to go get more greens. So I have to get fresh vegetables and stuff like that. And when you get fresh vegetables, they only last like 3 days and you have to keep going back and forth to the store. So all this stuff is expensive, just having MS on top of the, treating the pain. That's a whole nother thing. So it's just, it constantly messes with your mind. Because it's like you're thinking, well, how am I going to survive? Where am I going to live? How am I going to make it past this point? So I use all those things to just kind of just push myself. And I push myself harder than most others. Like I said, because I always go to the gym. Even when I'm in pain, I try not to show it. Like I said, when I started this video, my foot was in a lot of pain. So I'm trying to ignore it. And then just trying to do certain things. But I got to a point where I realized, I can't work a regular job or do regular things just because of how I get sick so much or I'm in pain a lot. I'm a professional at publishing, music publishing and administration, but I really can't work for a client on a day-to-day basis because I couldn't be there for a client to function correctly. So it's like I know how to set up businesses, I know how to get business credit and do all these things, but I'm at a point now where I really just have to use my mind. I can't physically do the things that I want to do. And that's kind of the whole mind fuck of multiple sclerosis is you go through this process of realizing you can't do certain things and the way people treat you, it affects your psychology. And for me being an empath, it was like, wow, it's a weird journey. For example, I'll give you this, for example. Like when I was in a relationship, the family wanted to go to this was a carnival. You know, they got the rides, and they had this ride that pretty much goes in a circle. You know, you're sitting on this platform and it rises up and it swings, and then you go around in a circle. So I was like, okay, I'll get on that ride. It shouldn't hurt me. That's something simple. I ended up getting on the ride, and man, I was in so much pain after that ride ended. It was because the way that my body was responding to the G-force of the swing, the muscles trying to tighten up, and my head was banging when I got off that ride. So I really wanted to go somewhere and just sit down. I wanted to go home, but I couldn't because, you know, I was there with the kids and the family, and they wanted to have fun. I didn't want to ruin their time. And they were trying to get me to go on other rides, and I was like, no, I'm hurting. And they didn't believe that I was in pain. You know, most people, when they expect to see somebody in pain, they want you to be sitting there going, oh, you know, making all this noise and anguish and facial expressions. And I'm trying not to do that. I'm just trying to take it not to look a certain way. I'm just like, yo, I'm in too much pain. I can't do it. But I ended up going home, and I was just, you know, I folded. I was just like, yo, my eyes, I couldn't open my eyes. My head was throbbing. My body felt like I fell off a 4-story building and just landed on my chest. But those are the type of pains that you have with multiple sclerosis. It's your whole body can ache, your bones, your joints. Like even now, like when I walk, I don't use crutches anymore because I've started working myself up to stop using it because I was falling too much. And even now, I still fall a lot. My legs still give out. Sometimes, like if I get too hot, my legs will give out, or my arm will stop moving. So it's different things I have to be careful about and plan out my day to make sure I don't overheat. I got to make sure I watch my salt intake, my sugar intake, because MS makes you have, you know, form diabetes. There's so much stuff I have to do. So it's like having multiple sclerosis is like my job now, because I have to stay on top of it from the time I wake up to the time I lay down. Because even to go to sleep, at night, I have to go to the gym first and try to at least do an hour, you know, try to do cardio and try to do some type of form of isometrics so that my arms and stuff don't contort or the muscles bend and tighten up at night. But I still sleep on my arm like this because it's the only comfortable thing. If I try to sleep regular, I sleep on the floor anyway. Can't sleep on the bed. But when I try to sleep, I have to get in the best position that I'm not in pain. So I'm usually, you know, I'm laying on my back, and then about 10 minutes I'm in pain. So I have to roll to one side. So I'm lay on my side for a while and then till the pain kicks in, then I roll again. So I'm constantly moving and rolling because of the joint pain. But if I have the right medicines, the natural medicines, I'm able to sleep better. I can just lay down and go to sleep, or I'll get small periods or short periods of no pain. So the natural medicines do help, but it's a very short window because, like I said, it's very expensive to get the proper amount that I need to be kind of pain-free. So, you know, that's kind of my short spiel on MS and how it sucks, but it's not the same for everybody. Some people it's just fatigue. I've had, you know, really extreme fatigue this past week. I haven't had any energy. I've wanted to do videos, but I didn't have any energy to really talk. So I haven't talked in, you know, 3 or 4 days. Just too tired. So that's why I was just trying to pump out these short videos I was going to do shorts on all the cardology cards just to have it out there. So there's a catalog on my channels that you could refer to. And then at the same time, if you want to get a reading, that way it'll be easier for you to kind of go over your chart. If I can complete the videos, I don't know how long it's going to take me to do all these videos. I try to do 1 to 3 a day, which still takes up a lot of time. And then I also make music, which takes up another part of my day. And then it's just editing it could take up my entire day for real, from the time I wake up to the time I go to sleep. If I'm doing a long video like this and I want to put a lot of effects in it and be creative, it could take up my whole day. Maybe if I can get better at this, the more I do it, or I can just probably do just one take and less editing. But I like to be creative and throw things in there because the mind is multifaceted. But yeah, that's my short spiel on multiple sclerosis. There's still more to it, and more to like the journey of what I had to do. I see I'm kind of slumping down. That's one of the problems I have with my MS is it's hard for me to sit up straight. Just I slowly start caving in when I'm weak. And then it's hard for me to control my muscles when talking. My voice changes. That's part of the MS too. My voice gets a little shaky. Losing weight. I'll probably have to make another video on that. Let me put a break point right here. But yeah, I'll probably have to make a whole nother video about how I lose weight and how you can use cannabis to lose weight. When I tell people that, they always laugh like, smoking gives you the munchies. And it's like, no, you have to learn how to use natural medicine, which is kind of like technology, the right way. I was able to use it, lost 100 pounds. I used it to give myself energy to go to the gym. It keeps the inflammation down. It helps me digest food better. What else? Sleeping, relaxing. It helps a lot. And I did a lot of research just following Montel Williams, the talk show host, and his journey and how he dealt with MS. And another thing I realized with multiple sclerosis is a lot of these people, when you get MS, you really don't know how to describe it. You don't know how to explain the things that you're going through because it's your first time. So I can imagine what Richard Pryor was going through and him not knowing how to speak about it, because when you initially have, that seizure, you're changed. Like, you feel weird. You feel less of you. You feel like a piece of you has left and you can't figure out what part of you has left. And for me, it took my mind to a whole nother place of like, how do I protect my kids? How do I provide? How do I, all these questions now that, I'm paralyzed. And for me, my mind state being an Aries, I'm a fighter. So I don't like to just sit and sulk, and I can only take so much and I explode. So when I was like paralyzed from the waist down, where I had like kidney damage and it somehow formed to where, I had these seizures and damage and I couldn't walk. And luckily I had studied medical books prior to this happening, so I knew how to treat myself. It was very excruciating, very painful. It took months. But when I was able to start walking again, one of the first things I did was I took my son's dirt bike, his little BMX bike, rode up and down the street, and I bunny hopped off the curb and crashed, end up, bending the rim, bending the handlebars. I cut my leg, had all this blood and stuff coming out my leg, but luckily I didn't have all the feeling in my leg, so I didn't feel all the pain. But I was just happy that I could do that. I was just happy that I could ride the bike, jump and fall. Cause, a couple months back, I couldn't even walk. So that was my way of celebrating. Because like when I first was having all these problems, I couldn't ride a skateboard anymore. I couldn't do certain things, and all that stuff kind of made me depressed of like, dang, I can't even function and move anymore. I was in my 30s and feeling like a 70 or 80-year-old man that could barely move. So for me, I don't like to just sit there and be in pain. A lot of times when I am in pain, I'll go to the gym and try to work out and do certain things. But this past week, I haven't even had the energy to get up and do anything. It's a very extreme fatigue. It's always feeling like you have to fall asleep. So I just been trying to, do my stretches, let my body repair itself, and my energy is slowly building up more now. So hopefully next week I'll be back in the gym. But I wanted to make a video because I've been trying to do this like all week, but every time I would set up my equipment and about to record, my eyes would just start drooping and then I'll have to go lay down. And then I just didn't have the energy to talk either. I tried to talk, and within, 5 minutes, I had to stop. Just didn't have the energy. It's crazy. But that's my spiel on the multiple sclerosis. Like I said, it's not the same for everybody. Everybody doesn't have the same symptoms. Some of the serious damage that I did have, I've been able to reverse some of the stuff, but I haven't been able to, remove everything, especially the pain. The pain is what I usually try to get rid of. But that's, like I said, it's very expensive, and it's hard trying to get the natural medicines that I need to keep, functioning. So that's why it's like I can't do videos all the time. I'm trying to come up with easier ways to do this audio video book to where I'm not always, doing a video of myself. So that's why I'm doing certain shorts. But I am going to talk about dreams eventually when the time comes. I have to go by my intuition, but this has been on my intuition all week just to talk about it. But I was trying to figure out what to talk about because I can't tell you what to do. I can only tell you what I've done. And, really being honest with yourself about your mind is the first step, is, being honest with how you feel. If you don't like having these medical problems or nerve problems, because I know that certain empaths probably do have certain disabilities, especially diabetes. Because pretty much any tarot card reader or psychic I know, they're addicted to some form of sugar, candy. They're also usually addicted to some type of stimulant too, something that's going to keep them wired to where they're jolted, and that's usually coffee. I have the opposite effect with coffee. If I drink coffee, it makes me go to sleep and it makes me nauseated. Certain cannabis actually gives me energy and it have me up to where I want to be productive. I want to be creative and doing stuff and getting stuff done. But like I said before, I also use it to help me get toxins out of my body to get me off of sugar. What else? trying to think of important things being honest with yourself, stopping yourself from doing certain things, eating certain things, certain habits, feeling angry all the time about certain things. I had to take control of all of that. I had to figure out, well, how do I create an environment where I'm not getting angry about certain things? How do I create an environment where I can eat when I need to eat and not just eating because I'm depressed about something or I'm trying to pass time, or I had to figure out how to manage my time, especially when I'm in a lot of pain. I'll get depressed about not feeling productive. Like I didn't get nothing done that day because I had to lay down all day because my legs were, in too much pain, and I'm nauseated and I got a headache and my body is aching. I got the chills, my body temperature has dropped. I don't like being in that state. So I'll put myself down like, oh man, I wanted to get this done. I didn't get this done today. So having this MS, like I said, it's a very psychological roller coaster, because I have to be honest with myself when I'm not able to do certain things. I just have to tell myself, be honest, like, hell, I can't do it today. And then being an empath, I see that when people look at me, they look at me and they go, oh, you look healthy. Until they might see me walking or limping. Are you okay? Oh, you should rest. You should do this. And I don't like when people talk to me like that. I don't like when they do the baby talk to me. And I don't like when people suggest pharmaceuticals to me either. You should take this pill, or I'm taking this pill and it seems to be working. I don't want to take any pills. I don't want to take any pharmaceuticals. There's a natural way to reverse. It's in medical books. It's there. It's just everybody is different. The damage is different. That's why my journey is different. I can only tell you what my journey is, and you have to analyze your own self. It's not about copying somebody else. Yeah, I, followed certain people where I looked at what they did, like Montel Williams. I looked at the foods he was eating, how he studied cannabis to help himself. Then I really went deep into it because I'm more on the entrepreneurial side and my music background. I was able to reach out to people in the cannabis industry, people that own patents to seeds, and people that own $1 million companies. And then I was conversing with them to get information. So I was really going to the people that were actually doing certain things and getting the information straight from them, and then still not just taking their word, still analyzing it, testing it myself to see if it even applies to me. But I took a very proactive choice into what I was doing. I wasn't just looking at YouTube videos. I wasn't just only reading books. I was actually going to conventions, going to, conferences, getting information, and then just assessing to see like, okay, what do I need to do? What do I need to get access to? Let me try this. Let me try black seed oil. Let me try sea moss. Let me change my diet. Let me stop eating this. And let me change my habits. I mean, like, now my day is completely changed from what it was like 10 years ago. Like, I eat once a day now. I don't eat breakfast. I say that word funny too, if anybody want to laugh at that. So I don't eat breakfast in the morning. I usually eat once a day. I usually keep chocolate chip cookies on hand in case I feel weird. Like I feel like my blood sugar is low, so I might eat 2 chocolate chip cookies or eat a couple cookies or something. I work out. And then I still have like these cheat days where I treat myself. You know, I may not eat the food that I cook. I may go somewhere and get, you know, veggie nachos or a veggie bowl, or go to a pizza place, a pizza buffet, and I don't eat any meat. So I eat, you know, like spinach and cheese pizza or macaroni pizza. And that's my meal, but I burn it off. I burn off those calories that I'm eating. So it's like my routine, I had to form it in order for my body to function in a certain way. I know I'm going to be up by a certain hour. I might be editing or working on music. And usually if I'm engaged in something, I don't have any hunger, or I have no need to eat. And I don't get hunger pains like everybody else either. It's a weird thing with the pancreas damage. That's a whole nother video, but I don't want to keep going on and on. I think I'm at like the 45-minute mark or more or longer right now. So that's kind of like the update. I'm probably going to make more cardology videos. I haven't decided if I wanted to do an energy reading yet. So just really want to do different stuff. I don't want this channel or this audio video book to just be strictly about energy readings. It was, you know, initially started about me being on this journey that I'm on, and I was having all these very I guess magical moments, and I was able to see this new generation of empaths coming through, and I see them struggling because they're actually stuck between multiple worlds existing in this world. So you might see certain people online. I've seen them in different chat rooms where they're like, hey, I'm in Ra, I'm this god, I'm this person. And they sound crazy, but they're actually tapped in. They have psychic abilities. They're tarot readers, they're healers, they're Reiki healers. But it's like they're trying to tell you their story. Their story sounds crazy. And then people are looking at them crazy, treating them crazy. And I'm just like, maybe if I can tell my story, maybe I can help balance out other empaths. Because my journey hasn't been that extreme, probably like how this new generation is coming through. But I had to basically live in silence for a long time, not discussing the things that I was experiencing and my abilities, and understanding this place. And now that I have the ability to talk about it to a certain degree, because a lot of things are still censored on this platform, but I could tell my story and help out other people to where they realize, hey, you're not crazy. You're just tapped into certain channels to where you are able to access certain memories or other lives that are actually happening simultaneously. And you're trying to express yourself or communicate what you're experiencing. And then that story might come out sounding like, hey, some aliens abducted me. Then I switched to another parallel reality. Now I'm here. I used to have the ability to fly, but now I can't. You know, everybody has all these weird stories, but most of the time, they're not making it up. It's real. And just the reincarnation thing, you know, that's the thing that kind of bothers me the most, is knowing that I've existed so many other times. And even in this reality, I haven't been in this particular reality, but I've been in realities very similar, almost like an overlay, where I've been in the same areas before, but I did different things.